What's up, guys? In today's video we got this really cool looking Superman. Now right here we have a DC Multiverse Superman, and it's also a Build-A-Figure wave. Now this Superman is from the Death Metal Dark Knights Batman wave, or the DC wave. So the Build-A-Figure wave is Dark Father. Now I'm not really too familiar with this figure, but it's still, pretty decent, I guess, for a Build-A-Figure wave. Now, and on the back, you guys do see number 1, which is also a Robin. Number 3 is Wonder Woman, which I'm pretty sure I have that version. Either this one or the Batman. I'm not really too sure. And you guys do see in the back that each character comes with different pieces. Now my character comes with the left and right arm. And I ended up getting this at Ross for a decent price of $5.99. Now I did see this at Walmart. It looked pretty decent. Not really my kind of figure. Not really a Superman fan, but for this cheap price, I figured I'll pick this up. So we're gonna go ahead and look at this Superman. So here we have a tray shot of Superman. You guys can see the Build-A-Figure arms, and he does come with 2 accessories, which is 2 interchangeable hands. So let's go ahead and get these pieces out first before we look at Superman. So here we do have 2 arms right here, one left and one right, from the Dark Father. Pretty decent. His arms are pretty stiff, doesn't really want to move too much, so I don't really want to force it all that much, but I'm pretty sure it's single jointed, at least what it looks like. Overall, pretty well detailed, and these spikes are fairly pointy, as you guys could see, and his hands do barely articulate, just somewhat, at least they're on a hinge. Overall, not a bad piece, I guess. Not really familiar with the figure. Let's go ahead and get the next thing. Like all DC Multiverse figures, they do come with this collectible card. You guys do see that it does say Superman, Dark Knight, Death Metal. It does have some data file information on the back if you guys want to see that, but not a bad card in my opinion. Next, we do have this matted DC plate, which is pretty cool, I guess. All multi-figure does come with this stand, so it is pretty typical. So this version of Superman does come with 2 different hands. You guys can see it is kind of like an open palm, relaxed hand. Same with as this one. Now he doesn't come with any accessories to put on his hand, but his palm is slightly open, which is, pretty good. I mean, decent paint, decent sculpting, really not bad. It's nice to have additional hands. So here we do have Superman. Now, like I said before, I'm not really too familiar with this version of Superman. His look is fairly weird. He does look kind of different. You guys can see that he does have a lot of these effects right here on the figure. These little end pieces of like a knot. He has one here on his arm. Now, I'm really not sure the significance of that, and also his arm looking kind of weird. So you guys let me know down in the comment section below what is up with this version of Superman. But overall, it's a decent figure, I guess, especially for $5.99 or however much he was. So let's go ahead and look at the articulation before we look at the rest of the figure. Now the best thing to know is if it has double jointed elbows, which it does have, and also his wrist is on a hinge. As you guys can see, let's go forward and back somewhat slightly. Is a little stiff, but not too bad. Now he doesn't have butterfly joints, as you guys could tell the way it's sculpted. His arm does somewhat go 360, and look, it just came off right there. Not sure why, so I guess it's not really meant to do that, but still, not a bad figure. So it does look like it does have butterfly joints, but I'm not sure. It's kind of weird, this little plastic piece. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what's up with that. So also, let's go ahead and look at the knees. He does have somewhat double jointed knees. Now it does look like it should be, but I think it's kind of restricted with the molding. Now I'm not trying to force it all that much. He does have toe articulation, which is actually pretty exaggerated, but still not that bad. And his ankle does move left and right. Now I'm not sure if it does do a 360. I'm sure it can, but I'm not going to try to force it. This leg as well does do the same thing. Now it appears to maybe be double jointed because the way it looks, but this one goes single. This one goes back just a little bit more. Not sure exactly why that is. Could be sculpting, or just could be this. The figure itself is pretty stiff. So another thing is kind of weird. So this arm, like the gray one, doesn't have double jointed elbows. It is single jointed. Now I'm not sure exactly why, but his wrist is also on this weird hinge. Overall, I mean, I guess it's not a big deal. I don't really care for this version of Superman, but it is what it is. So when it comes to head sculpt, he does go down barely anything or up. It does look left and right fairly decent, and I'm pretty sure it does go a 360. There you go, it does. And looking at the hair looks pretty decent, I guess. The way it's sculpted does feel kind of weird, rubbery. But if you look at the head sculpt, it does look like the paint application is kind of weird. It does have some black markings right here. His eyes are red. Looks like he's about to, use his laser beams or whatever. You guys can see that it does have a nice sculpted S right here. You guys can see that his suit is torn up, which is why it looks like that. It does have some chains here where, he would typically have a belt. Not sure exactly what that's for, but it's a good amount of detail, I guess. So you guys can see his legs right here. You guys can see it is pretty sculpted, pretty good, I think. Now, if this would have had a little bit more paint, I think it would look pretty dope in my opinion. Like a black wash would make this look really good. You guys could tell that he does have spikes right here in the toe. Normally that would be silver or black, but this whole thing is red, so they didn't really put too much thought into the figure. Not sure exactly why. Now this figure really I don't think would be worth paying retail. It is a Build-A-Figure wave. Usually Build-A-Figure waves are a little bit more expensive. Now I believe this figure was $24.99. Don't mistake me, and I only seen this at Walmart. Not sure if he's a Walmart exclusive, but overall it's really not too bad getting it for $5 at Ross. So you guys definitely got to check out Ross if you guys want to grow your collection on a budget. You may not find figures that you like, but you can find figures that most people don't want, so they end up at places like Ross. So when it comes to articulation, this figure, I think it has somewhat okay articulation for Superman. So I definitely give this a 6 out of 10. Now when it comes to accuracy, I don't really know much about this figure or this character. So the way it looks on the artwork, it looks pretty spot on. I'll definitely give this as well a 6 out of 10. I mean, looks pretty accurate, I guess, but not really the best version of Superman that I've seen. Now, when it comes to the accessories, I mean, this one does come with 2 interchangeable hands, which is pretty decent. It is a Build-A-Figure wave, so it's not really going to come with much. So I'll definitely give this a decent 6 out of 10. Now, when it comes to the overall figure, everything comes with the Build-A-Figure wave, everything. I think this figure is a solid 7 out of 10, but I really don't recommend getting this figure unless you need the Build-A-Figure piece. So you might be able to get that on eBay or Mercari by itself. So I don't recommend this figure unless you're able to get it at Ross for a really cheap price like I did. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think of this version of Superman? And would you guys be picking him up if you guys saw him cheap at Ross? Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.